Let's build our own state and effect system from scratch, but not using React. We are going to build something more direct, a reactive system. So the problem is simple. In JavaScript, if I have variable like count, there is no built-in way to say run this code whenever count changes, and that is the problem that we are going to solve today. So first I will show you the demo. The code is already written, but don't worry, I will start from the scratch. So the demo is something like this one. I have initialized this count and set count. So this is getter and setter from this method, and I have initialized this with initial value at 0. Okay, and then I am creating the effect. Inside this I am registering this function. This function is doing nothing but simple console.log, and then it is logging the value of count. Okay, so you can see now it is showing 0 because we have initialized it with 0. Now if we do something again like set count, and then if we do count whatever the current value of count is plus 1, then it will show 1. Similarly, if we do set count again, if we do current value of count plus 1, it will show again same thing. Or instead of 1, if we do 3, so it will show 3 plus 1 from the previous value, so it will show 4. So you can see what we are doing. We are just changing the value of count here. So we are just calling this setter function, but this function is getting run automatically. We are not running this again and again, but the effect that we have registered, because of that it is running again and again. So if we remove this count, this getter from here, let's say we are not printing anything for now. Now if we do anything like set count, and if we do 5, it will do nothing because now the registration is not there, so the effect is not running. So now again when we will refresh this page, then only we will have this count value updated, but it will not automatically update it. So it is not reactive. But as soon as we put here this getter, now this is getting registered. Now if I do set count to 100, so it will work. So now it is automatically running. So that is what we are going to build today. So what I will do is I will remove all the code and I will start from scratch. So I will create one variable called current effect. So this is to track the current running effect for our state management system. So I am initializing it with null. Now I will create a function called create state. So it will receive a value, initial value. Okay, and then what we will do is we will create one local variable called value, and then I will assign it with initial value. After that, what I will do is I will create a set of subscribers. So new set, for now it is empty. Okay, now I will create getter function. Okay, so first we will check if we have something in current effect. You will understand when we will write the whole code. So if we are checking if something is there in current effect. If it is, then what we will do is we will add that effect into the subscribers. Why we are adding this? Because whenever something is getting changed, I mean to say this value is getting changed, then that time we will need to add, we need to run all the dependent subscribers on this value. So subscribers are, or effects are nothing but the function itself. So whatever function we are registering or effects, and that is what we are calling subscriber now. So that we need to run whenever the value is getting changed. So that's why we are storing it in the set. So what we will do is we will write current effect. Now there is one more problem. The problem is whenever value is getting initialized, that time we need to clear the existing effects as well. Otherwise there will be memory leak issue. So that's why what I will do is I will also to keep a track of all the effects, I will add these subscribers here. Now we will ask how can we do this on this one. So later you will understand when we will pass the this is current effect. So later we will see that whenever we are assigning this current effect, that is currently null, but later when we assign this current effect, so we will initialize this current effect.depth with new set, something like this one only. So that's why we are able to do this now. So after this we will simply return the value. Okay. Now after that this is get function, this is complete. Now what I will do is I will create a setter, so it will receive a value, and then what first we'll check if both are equal or not. So we'll do object.age value that we have and the value that is coming. If both are equal, no need to do anything, this is redundant, so we'll just return for performance reason. If that is not the case, then we will just assign a value to the value. Okay, now there is one more thing we need to do. Now since here value is getting changed, using setter we are changing the value, so we need to run all the dependencies or effects dependent on this. So you remember we are maintaining all the list of effects in subscribers here. So what I will do is subscribers dot for each, and then it is having effect, so effect, and then we will run the effect. That's it. So what we are doing is we are getting all the effects from the subscribers and running one by one. So if there are 2 or 3 effects that we have registered for this value, so whenever the value of this variable changes, then all the effects will run. We are spreading it here just to make sure that we are not directly mutating the set, otherwise it will go into infinite loop. Okay, so now get and set is complete, so we will just return get and set. That's it. Now create a state function is complete. So now I will do create effect function. Okay. Create effect, and it will receive one function that we want to register, and then again we will create one function inside it called effect. Okay. Now what we will do is first we will clean up the dependencies. So we will pass the effect here. Okay, this function we have not created it yet, but we will create it in some time. For now, let's assume that this function is created. Now what we will do is, since we are calling this create effect, so what we will do is we will assign this to current effect. Okay, so current effect equal to effect. Okay, now you remember we were doing this current effect or deps.add subscribers, so we need to initialize it first to a set, this part. So that we will do now. So what we will do is current effect dot deps to set. Okay, now since this is created, now whatever function that we are calling or trying to register, that we will call. So call it. So this is nothing but the setter function, the getter function that we are calling when we will use this create a state. So it will give one getter function, right? This one. So this when we are calling, so the same thing we are registering here, this one. So this function is nothing but this getter function. So when we are calling this, then this is getting run. Okay, when this is getting run, then it is checking if current effect is there, and it will be there because we are just assigning this to current effect. So if it is there, then what it is doing is in subscriber list it is adding the current effect, and in dependencies it is adding the subscribers. Okay, that's why we have assigned this current effect to effect, and also we have initialized the deps with new set. Now you will understand why we are doing this cleanup. So it might be the case that the effect is getting registered again and again, same effect. So that will be the case of memory leak, and we will have multiple issues, inconsistencies in the code. So that's why what we are doing is we are doing cleanup first, and the function I need to write, I have not written it till now, but we will write it. So this is what we are making sure. We will clean every dependencies for this effect, and then we are re-adding it again to make sure there is not any bug inside it. Okay, so once we are done with calling the function, that is nothing but the get. So we will again assign this current effect to null. Okay, and after this, for the first time we have to call this one, so we will call this one. See, now I will create the cleanup function. Okay, so it will receive one effect, So what I will do is, if I will check first, if not effect dot apps, then simply return. Why we are doing it? Because for the very first time this is not created yet, so, and we are calling this cleanup before creating this one. So it might be the case that this is undefined, so this will cause problem. That's why we are making a check here. After this, what we will do is effect dot depths dot for each. So it is containing subscribers. You remember, we are adding here all the subscribers in. So what I will do is effect dot depth dot for each will get subscriber. Then this is a set. So what we'll do is subscriber dot delete, and then we'll pass the effect. So this is nothing but set. This is also a set. Why? Because when we are adding the subscribers here, this is a new set here, right? So we are adding the set. So this depth is containing set of sets. Okay. So when we are looping through it, so when we are getting the subscriber, so this subscriber is nothing but a set itself. So on this one, since this is a set, so on this one we are calling this delete method, and then we are passing pitch effect. So if this effect is inside any of the set of this dependencies, it will delete from there. And then finally we will clear the effect dependencies add-on. Let's start clear. That's it. Now our reactive system is ready. We have created state. Inside it we have getter and setter. Okay. In getter, what we are doing is, if current effect is there, we are adding that to the subscriber list, because that will depend, if value changes we need to run the subscribers. That's why we are making a track of it. Now again, in current effect dependencies, we are adding the subscribers itself in order to track, because we need to clean up later. That's why we are tracking it here. So this is for running it here. So when we are adding it here, this is required, this line is required, because we are running it here when the value is getting changed, and this line is required because we are cleaning it up here. Okay, so this is the getter function. Now in setter function, what we are doing is, we are first checking if some user is setting the value. So we are checking if that value is truly a new value. If that is the case, it is going to set the new value and then run all the dependent effects on it. If that is not the case, it is simply returning, it will do nothing. Okay, and then we are simply returning get and set from here. Okay, so this is create state function. Now in create effect, we are creating one function called effect. Inside that, first we are cleaning up the effect. So if effect is having dependencies, then only these two lines will run. If it is not having dependencies, then it will simply return. So what it is doing is, it will going to each of the subscriber and deleting the subscriber which contains this effect. Okay, and also clearing all the dependencies at last. Okay, so this is cleanup, and then what we are doing is, we are setting the current effect to this effect, because of the very same reason in get we are using this. So if you will see here, we are using this condition here, that's why. And then for dependencies, we are setting again initializing it with new sets. This is also the same thing I have explained. We are making a track of dependencies here, that's why. And then we are actually calling the function. So calling the function is nothing but this get is getting called. Okay, how get is getting called, when I will give you the example, then you will understand. And then finally we are making current effect as null, and then for the very first time I am calling this effect. Now let's check the demo. Okay, well, what I will do is const do count set count, and then I will do create a state. Okay, 0. So if I do console.log, and if you do count is a getter, so you will see we have 1. If we had initialized with 10, so we will have 10 here. See, right? So now the problem is, if we again do set count, and if we do again want to print count plus 1, so it will do nothing. Internally the value is getting changed, but there are no effects registered on this one, so it is not running. So we are still saying 10, but as soon as, let's say after this, or let me remove all of this, we will register a effect. So for registering it, we will call create effect, and it is receiving a function. Okay, function is nothing but effect itself. So we are passing an anonymous function, and then in here we are doing console.log, and then we are calling this count. Okay, now we will see in create effect we have passed a function. Okay, inside this we are calling this count. So this function, when it is getting called here, so this is calling this one, okay, this anonymous function, and in turn it is calling this count getter. Okay, that's why when we call this is calling nothing but this getter function. Okay, so now this effect is registered. So what happened is it called this one, okay, and then it called this one. So first it called this cleanup effect. So it came here, dependencies were nothing, so it simply returned. Then it came here on current effect, it assigned this the same effect function. Okay, now current effect dot dependencies, it initialized with empty set, and then it called the fn, that is the function that we are passing. So what it did is it went to this getter, okay, and then checked if current effect is there. Since it is there, because we are setting it here, right? So it is adding to the subscriber list, okay, this current effect function, okay, and the current effect is nothing but the same function, this one, because we have assigned this. And then current effect dot dependencies dot add, and it is adding all the subscribers. So this will contain all the subscribers. Then it is calling fn, so it will call okay, so when it called this one, then only these things happen. Okay, and then after this we are having this set it to null, and then for the very first time it is calling this. That's why this all happened. Okay, so this is registered. So if we now do something like set count, and if we do something like 100, so it will show 100 here. Or if we do something like count plus 100, then it will be 110. So this is working. So this is fully fledged reactive system. Now instead of this, we are just now logging out, but instead of this, if we do something like document dot get element by id, here is some id, okay, and then dot inner text equal to this count, something like that we could have done. So what it will do is, whenever and there is some button somewhere, so whenever you are clicking that button, then it is calling this effect, and in turn it is running this one. Or wherever you are setting, let's say when button is getting clicked, you are just setting this count to something else, and you are never running this function, but it will automatically run because this is a registered effect. So that is how this effect system works. So we have our own version of create a state and create effect, what React has, useState and useEffect. Okay, so I have also created a library out of it, a tiny library that can be used alongside React, that I will give a link in the description. If you have any question or anything related to this learning, then please ask me in the comment. I will answer there in the comment itself. And please like and subscribe this video. Thank you.